Hi, this is Maria from Crochet A to Z and welcome to the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please push that subscribe button. And if you have, I want to thank you. I want to thank everyone for being here today. So today I want to show you this great project. And this is number 1 of the fall winter series projects. And this is a beautiful hat. It's a waffle stitch hat. And it's really, really warm. It's easy to make, and this is considered a large, adult large, and it really is easy to make. So I'm going to show you just how easy this is to make. And again, it is the waffle stitch hat, and it is a beautiful project to make. You can make it on a weekend, you can make it in a day, it's up to you. Great take-along project if you want to take something small with you to work on, where you go here and there. This is one of those great projects that you can do that with. So let's get started, why don't we? For this project, I am using an eye hook, and I am using Red Hot Super Saver Jumbo yarn. And the only reason I just wanted to get a larger, the jumbo, is because I wanted to be able to know that I had enough, and if I wanted to make other things with it, or more than one hat. And I believe that you can get more than one hat out of the jumbo. So I just want to mention that to you as well. And here's all the information on it. And here is the name and color of this yarn as well. So again, let's get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a slip knot. After you make your slip knot, you want to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you're going to make a slip stitch into that first stitch. You want to make a slip stitch. And now we're going to work in the middle of this right here. We're going to work in the middle. So after we make our slip stitch, we're going to chain 1 and 2. And then after that, we're going to put 12 double crochets in the middle here. So we're going to put 12 double crochets. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, and I want you to know that I'm weaving in that end. I'm weaving this in. So we're going to have, right now I have the chain 2, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochets, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and any time in between, if you want to pull this to tighten that up, you can, and 12. Now I'm going to count those double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and then the chain 2. And now we're going to do a slip stitch in that first double crochet. Now this is where it's different. You're not going to do it in the chain 2. You're going to do a slip stitch in that first double crochet. You're going to do a slip stitch right there. Now after you do that, and that's in the first double crochet, and I'm going to show you again, slip stitch right in that first double crochet. That's where you want to do your slip stitch. And here's your chain 2 right here. So the other thing I want to mention, if you're, as you go along, if you're wondering how many rows you have and you lose count, I suggest you do write it down. But if you forget to, all you have to do is count the chain 2 rows. If you count the chain 2s, you'll know exactly how many rows you have. So once you make your slip stitch in that first double crochet, you're going to chain 1 and chain 2. And then you're going to do a front post double crochet in that first double crochet, not the chain 2, the first double crochet. You're going to do a front post double crochet right here. In the spot next to that front post double crochet, you're going to put a double crochet. So what we're doing is we're increasing this row. So front post double crochet in the middle, a front post double crochet in the next double crochet, a double crochet between the 2 double crochets, which one is a front post now, a front post double crochet, a double crochet right here in between, and we're going to just do that right around. So we did a front post, and now we're going to do a double right next to that in between the double crochets from below. Just gonna so this is an increase row. And you're going to do increase rows for a while, but then we won't have to. But you've got to get past your increase rows first. And then it's like you're just going to go to town and finish off your hat. This is can be made for male or female. And I will give you variations if you want to make it for information on variations for different sizes. You're going to love this hat. It has a lot of texture, and it's very, very, very warm. So we have our last double crochet here This is not, because it's a chain 2. So we're going to put our last front post double crochet right there. And then we're going to skip over this chain 2, and we're going to go right in this double crochet and do a slip stitch to join. And that's what it looks like. And when you count, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. And then your chain 2 right here. So once you do that, we're going to go, because we did row 1 and row 2, we're going to go to row 3. We're going to chain 1 and chain 2. We're going to front post double crochet where that front post double crochet is from below. So in other words, here's your chain 2, you're going to ignore that. Here's your front post double crochet. You're going to front post double crochet in that stitch again. Now what you're going to do is you're going to do, like I said, a front post double crochet and 2 double crochets on the next double crochets. So 2 double crochets in the next double crochets. So 1 and 2. And now that we did 2 double crochets there, we're going to do a front post double crochet in the next front post double crochet. Then we're going to go in this stitch and we're going to put 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Now we've got a front post double crochet, so we're going to make a front post double crochet. In the next double crochet, we're going to put 2 double crochets. We're arriving at a front post double crochet, so we're going to front post double crochet right there. Double crochet, we're going to put 2 double crochets there. And we are increasing as we speak. In the next stitch, we're going to put a front post. There's a front post there. We're going to go right back and put a front post double crochet. In the next stitch, it's a double crochet. We're going to put 2. Front post double crochet at the front post. Two double crochets at the double crochet. Front post. Two double crochets. And this again is row 3. Front post. Two double crochets at the double crochet. front post. This is really a beautiful hat. It really, really is. Next, 2 double crochets. Front post. 2 double crochets. Front post. Two double crochets here to the front post here. So you're going to do 2 double crochets. We're getting to the end. This again is row 3. A front post where the front post is. And then you're going to slip stitch, not to the chain 2, never to the chain 2, always to that first double crochet. We're going to slip stitch to join. Again, this is sometimes I crochet a little tight, and there it is right there. And this is your chain 2 right here. In between, and we want to just mention, we have our front post double crochet, and in between that you have 2 double crochets in between those front post double crochets. You made 2. So now we're going to go to row 4. Row 4, you're going to chain 1 and chain 2, and you're going to do 2 front post double crochets at the front post double crochets. So what you're going to do is you're going to go in this front post double crochet, and you're going to make a front post double crochet. That's 1. Then you're going to go back here, and you're going to make another 1. And this is row 4. So that's what you're going to do there. Then what you're going to do is with these 2 double crochets, you're going to make back post double crochets at these 2 double crochets. So you're going to do 2 back post double crochets, 1 and 2. Now you're going to go to the next one and do 2 front post double crochets at that front post double crochet. So you're going to put 1 and you're going to put a second one. That's what it looks like. Now you're going to go to the next 2 double crochets, and you're going to put a back post double crochet and a back post double crochet on the second one. So because you have 2 double crochets there. So you have 1 and then you have 2. So you want to make sure that you get each one, and you may have to pull them apart a little bit just to see, but there should be 2 there. So now at this front post double crochet, you're going to put 2. 1 and a second one. And if you pull these apart, you can see them. Here we go. You've got 2 double crochets. So you're going to put back post double crochets in each one of those. 1, and 2. Now you're going to go to the front post and you're going to put 2 front post double crochets on that front post. So you're going to go 1 and 2. Then you're going to have 2 double crochets. So you're going to put 2 back post double crochets. This is row 4. Front post double crochet at the front post, and a second front post double crochet at that front post. And you're going to do this all the way around, and you're going to start noticing that you're almost starting to see the shape of the waffle. This is just going to bring you there. So here's your 2 double crochets. Always do back post double crochets in this row of the double crochets from the row below. And always do 2 front post double crochets on the front post double crochet from the row below. You put 2. And you're going to continue this all the way around. Two front posts at the front post from the one below, and 2 back posts from the double crochets from the 2 from below. And you're going to really start to feel the texture in this row. In this 4th row, you're going to really feel the texture and the warmth of this hat. It's just incredible. So again, we'll just continue right around. And if you want, how about you meet me at almost the end of this 4th row. Okay, so now we're at the end and we're going to do our 2 front post double crochets at this last front post double crochet. And then again, we have our chain 2. We're going to skip over that and we're going to go right to this first double crochet in this row, and we're just going to do a slip stitch. And that's what it looks like. And like I said, you can really feel the texture of this now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1 and chain 2. And at this front post double crochet, the first one, not the chain 2, the first front post double crochet, because you made 2 front post double crochets on the front post double crochet from the row below. So you have 2 here. In this first one, you're going to put a front post double crochet. Now this is row 5. In between these two front post double crochet, one here and one here, we're going to put a double crochet. The next spot, a front post double crochet. The next spot here and here, we're going to put a double crochet in these two double crochets. So double crochet here, and a double crochet here. Now you have two front post double crochets together, so you're going to put a front post here, a double crochet in the middle of these two front posts, and a front post double crochet here. Again, this is row 5. These two double crochets, you're going to put a double crochet above each one of those. One here, and one here. And now we're going to go back, and we have our two front post double crochets. So we're going to put a front post here, a double crochet here, and a front post here. You will get the hang of this very, very quickly once you get going. It will be like, oh, okay, this is that row, okay. So now double crochet in each one of those double crochets. 1 and 2. And again, front post, 1, 2, so front post double crochet in the middle of that, front post double crochet, front post, double crochet in the middle, front post next to that, two double crochets in the next two double crochet stitches. You're going to love the texture of this hat. I'm telling you, it's just marvelous. It's just great. And again, you have two fronts, so you got to do a front post, a double crochet in the middle of the two front posts, and then a front post. So now you're going to be coming up to your two double crochets, so you're going to do one in each one of those two. 1, 2. And again, this is row 5. Now the two front posts, so you're going to do a front post, a double crochet in the middle of those two, and a front post. And we're going to continue this all the way around. Now we know we have two double crochets. We're going to just put two double crochets there. When we get to our front post, we know that we've got to make a front post, a double crochet in between it, and then another front post. And we want to do this all the way around. So if you want, meet me almost at the end of row 5, and we will continue. And row 6 will be the last row of increases. Row 6 will be the last row of increases. Okay, we're at the end where we did 2 double crochets above the each one of the 2 double crochets, and now we have a front post double crochet. So we're going to do a front post double crochet, a double crochet next to it in between those 2 front posts, and another front post double crochet. And now we're going to slip stitch that row, not at the chain 2, but at the first double crochet or front post double crochet that you made. You want to go right there and do your slip stitch to join that row. And that was row 5. So now we're going to move on to row 6. This will be your last row that you will have to do any increases. And after a certain time, after the first and second row, you're not going to have to count, because once you get that first and second row in there, you should be golden going right along. So now we're going to chain 1 and we're going to chain 2. And we're going to do a front post double crochet in this front post. And then in the next stitch where we have a double crochet, we're going to put 2 back posts double crochet on that first double crochet. So you're going to make 1, and it's going to be 2 back post double crochets. 1, and then you're going to go in there again and make a second double crochet. And yes, it will be hard in the beginning until you get used to maneuvering it, but it will be fine. You will be fine. So now once you do that, in this front post double crochet, you're going to put a front post double crochet. Two back post double crochet in each one of these double crochets. 2 back ones. 1, and that's what it looks like. In this next stitch, you're going to put a front post double crochet. In that front post double crochet. In the double crochet that's in the middle of these 2 front post double crochets, you're going to put 2 back posts. 1 and 2. And again, it'll be kind of weird when you first do it, but you'll maneuver it so that you can make the 2. And there it is. And now here, we're going to do a front post double crochet, a back post double crochet in each one of the 2 double crochets. So back post and a back post, and then a front post at this front post, and the double crochet that's in between these 2 front posts, you're going to do 2 back post double crochets on that double crochet. So you're going to do 1, and you're going to do a second one attached to that as well. And you'll learn to maneuver it so that you can, I use my finger and I move them apart to get them. Now here, a front post double crochet. Here, 2 double crochets, 2 back post double crochets. 1 and 2. Now we're coming where we have the 2 front post double crochet with the double crochet in the middle. So we're going to do a front post here because we have 2 front posts with the double crochet in the middle. So we're going to do a front post, 2 back post double crochets at that double crochet, 1 and 2. We're going to make 2 around that. And I'm going to show you how I manipulate my, so here's my first one for that back one. Then I go in again and I kind of manipulate my yarn and I put my finger in there and move that first one that I made so that I can get that second one attached to that. And then a front post. But you'll find your way of doing it. Now we have 2, so we're going to do a back post for those 2 double crochets, another back post right here. Front post, and yes, this is the last increase row, and then after this you're going to love it. And now we have our double crochet here that we have to put 2 back post double crochets in this. So again, there's 1 and there's 2, and I manipulate the yarn as I come up. I manipulate it, use my finger if I have to pull it away. If that works for you, that's what I do. And then a front post for this one. And we're going to do this all the way around. And if you want, you can meet me at the end. Okay, so again, this is row 6. So I'm coming to the end. I have a front post double crochet that I have to make right here. I have a double crochet here, so I have to make 2 back post double crochets on that. And now a front post double crochet in this last front post. And then what I have to do is, this is chain 2. You're going to skip over that and you're going to go right to this front post double crochet and you're going to do a slip stitch right there. And this is what it looks like, and it is full of texture. It's really beautiful and it is warm. Now we're going to do row 7 and 8. Row 7 and 8 are your repeat rows until you get to the end. Row 7 and 8 are your repeat rows until you get to the end. So now we're going to chain 1 and chain 2. We're going to do a front post double crochet at that front post double crochet. Two double crochets above those 2 double crochets, those were back post double crochets. So we're going to do 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. And then in the next one, we're going to do a front post double crochet right here. 2 double crochets, 1, 2, front post. Two double crochets right here. We have, those were from the back post from below. So we're going to do 2 double crochets right here. 1 and 2. And then we're going to do a front post double crochet. And then we're going to do a double crochet in each one of those stitches from below. These 2 stitches, a double crochet in each one of those. And a front post double crochet here. And we're going to continue this all the way around. So we're going to just keep doing this until we get to the very end. Front post, 2 double crochets in each one of these 2 stitches, and then your front post double crochet. So it'll be a front post, 2 double crochets, and a front post all the way around. Meet me almost at the end. So now we're finishing up row 7. We did a front post here. We have 2 stitches here. We're going to do a double crochet in each one of these stitches, 1 and 2. And then we're going to do a front post double crochet in this front post. And then we're going to slip stitch, not in the chain 2, but in this front post double crochet from the beginning of this row. Again, this is row 7. We're going to repeat row 7 and 8 over and over again until you finish this hat. Isn't it beautiful? And it is, like I said, it's beautifully warm. So now we're going to chain 1 and chain 2. Now, although I want to mention the chain 2 is very important to this, it gets lost once we do our slip stitch to we go over it to do our slip stitch to join. But that's the important part of this pattern. So now we did our chain 2 and we're going to go to row 8. Again, the row we did before, row 7, and this row 8 is the 2 rows that you do until you finish your hat. So you're going to do a front post double crochet for row 8. And then you're going to do 2 back post double crochets where those double crochets. Then again, you're going to repeat row 7 and 8 over and over again until you finish your beautiful hat. So front post, 2 back post. Front post, 2 back posts. Front post, 2 back posts. Front post, 2 back posts. I go slow, you can follow along, you can write it down. Front post, 2 back posts. And this is row number 8. You will repeat row 7 and 8 over and over again until you are finished with this hat. You will notice now you can see your waffle stitch taking place. It's taking root. When you do your back post double crochets, you're going to notice a little ridge forming. And you have ridges in between. It's just, like I said, you can start to see your waffle stitch popping out. So you always know that in your 8th row, or should I say, you're going to repeat row 7 and 8 over and over again. So in row 7, you're always going to do a front post and 2 regular double crochets. In row 8, you're always going to do, of course, and after you chain 2, in row 8, you're always going to do a front post double crochets and 2 back post double crochets. Front post and 2 back posts. Row 7, front post and 2 regular double crochets. Row 8, front post and 2 back post double crochets. And you will actually, it'll be, once you do a few of the rows, you'll get used to it. All you have to do is you'll be able to look down and know where you've got to go and what your next row is going to be. And this hat really, if you've never done front post and back post double crochets, this is a great hat to learn it. And once you learn it on this hat, it's great. So I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to see you at the end of this row, which is row 8. And then I'm going to show you how to carry on this hat. Now I'm finishing row 8. And I've got to do a front post, 2 back posts in those 2 stitches from below. I'm going to end with a front post. And then I'm going to slip stitch this closed, not at the chain 2, but at the first front post double crochet of that row. And now we're going to chain 1 and chain 2, and we're going to start over and go to row number 7. And we're going to do row number 7 and 8 over and over again until we are finished with our hat. Now, what I did is I wanted to mention that I ended up doing 14 rows after this. 14 more rows of row 7 and row 8. You may want it a little longer. That's up to you. But then that's up to you. You can try it on. You can see how you want to make it. And this is what I ended up with of my hat. Now, say you're done with your hat, and I want you to notice, see the waffle stitch, how beautiful it looks. It just looks, and just like on this, just looks beautiful. Now you can end this any way you want, but I'm going to show you how I ended this. I put a little border around. And I want to show you. I'm going to pull this out. And just like that one, I did my slip stitch right at the top of that front post double crochet. I chained 1 and I chained 2. And what I did was I did 3 rows of front post double crochets. So I went to this first front post and I made a front post. And then I went all the way around and did front post double crochets all the way around. And that gave me that little ridge. But I did 3 rows of this front post double crochet. I did 3 rows of that. And I did this all the way around to make the brim of this hat. And again, 3 rows of front post double crochets. After I finished my 3 rows of front post double crochets, I ended it with 2 rows of single crochets. So I did 3 rows of front posts, and then right here I did 2 rows of single crochets to finish this hat. And that's how I finished this hat. Now you may have other ideas on how you want to do the brim. I really like this way of doing it, but that's totally up to you. And I did this all the way around. And I'm going to meet you almost when I'm done with that part. So we'll be right back as soon as we're done almost with the brim. Once you're done doing this desired number of rows of that front post double crochet for your brim, I would do 3 rounds. You may want to do 1 or 2. That's up to you. But once you get those rounds finished of that front post double crochet round, if you decide to finish it off like this, then after you do that, again, you would slip stitch at the top of that first front post double crochet. And then what you would do is you would chain 1, and then you would do single crochets all the way around until you get your hat finished. If that's how you want to finish it off. I like to clean it off with a round, actually 2 rounds of single crochets, and that's how I like to do it. And then I fasten off after I do 2 rounds of single crochets after 3 rounds of front post double crochets. And then you will do that, and this is what you will get from that. 3 rounds of front post double crochets and then 2 rounds of single crochets. And this is the finished hat. I absolutely love this hat. It's very warm. It's really pretty. It can go for male or female. It doesn't really matter. It's a unisex hat. It really is. And it is called the Waffle Stitch Hat. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial of the Waffle Stitch Hat. And it is really beautiful. Beginners to advanced, everyone in between. It's an easy hat to learn. I go slow. You can follow along. You can write it down. I hope you enjoyed this. This is Maria from Crochet A to Z. Thank you. Have a great day. Have a great evening. Love you all. Bye-bye.